Well, that was easy. Canelo Alvarez finally admits that he's willing to drop down in weight, go to 160 middleweight, but not for Charlo or Demetrius Andrade. He says he can make those weight accommodations for none other than man down. Hey, stop that cat. Errol Spence Jr. We're going to talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. You know, I'm just doing my thing. We working. Cash App, $ Boxing Ego. Before I get started, use my link, get ESPN Plus. They offer a ton of original content, docuseries, documentaries, archive footage, and more. It's $5.99 a month for ESPN Plus as a standalone app, or you can get the bundle ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. Keep in mind, Disney Plus just announced a monster lineup of some brand new shows and some of your favorite shows coming back. Get that ESPN Plus bundle using my link. It's $12.99. Let's get into it. You guys see it. Link in the description. There's an interview with Fight Hub. Canelo just did. It's an exclusive interview. You guys see the title. Canelo Alvarez says, quote, if Spence is willing to move up, that fight can happen. He also, you know, good news is he did talk about a Caleb Plant fight is likely to go down. I like the sound of that. I was looking forward to that more than the Callum Smith fight, who Canelo is fighting for $70 pay-per-view through cable or $20 through DAZN. Kind of a weird price point. Just that there's a variance. I did a video on that. Check that previous video. But what he said about Errol Spence was interesting. You know, he sounded kind of a little bit lethargic, kind of in fight mode, you know, which is to be expected. You got a gigantic guy you're fighting, and Canelo hasn't fought in about a year or whatever. So, you know, it's in fight week. He's in the bubble. He said he's chilling, that kind of thing. Got the slick track suits and whatever, and he's about to fight Callum Smith. But regarding Errol Spence, he was asked directly. The host said, I talked to Errol Spence. He said he's really interested in fighting you. He says he believes that AT&T Stadium, y'all could pack out over 100,000, 120,000 or whatnot in the stands. And would that be a fight that you would be willing to entertain? Canelo, without hesitation, says yeah. And he also said this, little Jimmy Jim. He said that he'd be willing to, well, actually it was a follow-up question. You know, you guys could watch it so it's cohesive and, you know, verbatim. But he was asked a follow-up question because he did say yes. He said that's a big fight. Errol's a great fighter, so he pay respect there and that kind of thing. But he was asked a follow-up question. He said, so would Errol Spence have to move up to 168, 168 pounds, where Canelo's fighting Caleb Smith, as you guys see on the screen? Or could you make 160 still? And Canelo specifically looked at the camera and said that he would be willing to fight Errol Spence. They can make preparations, accommodations because of the value of that fight is, I guess, big enough for him to go back down and wait. Man, well, first of all, he has to get past Callum Smith. You know, that goes without saying. But I told you guys Canelo could still make 160. Nothing in boxing is necessarily easy. So I don't know how easy or hard it would be because he did go to 175, which nobody told him to do, to fight Kovalev, and he stopped him in a rather lackluster fight. And they had a little fiasco with that particular fight, waiting for the UFC fight, but I'll move on beyond that. The bottom line is I think Canelo can still make 160 if he chooses to, but he has to value the fight, and apparently he doesn't value a Charlo fight. Charlo was his mandatory. Charlo was Golovkin's mandatory. Canelo gets Golovkin. The WBC did not enforce Canelo to fight his mandatory or Golovkin. So to this day, Charlo has not fought against either guy, right? And Canelo looks in shape. He looks in great shape. He looks kind of light right here, to be honest. He looks pretty light. So I definitely think he could still make 160 because he looks like he maintains himself, and he doesn't even look that big comparatively speaking. When you look at guys like David Benavidez and Callum Smith and even Caleb Plant, Canelo looks to be the smallest of the bunch. He looks smaller than even Jose Uzcategui or somebody like that at 168. So I think he can make it. Canelo's more of a stout, stocky kind of like person, but he just told you out his own mouth. He said he's willing to fight Errol Spence at 160, which begs the question, why not Charlo? Why did the WBC, they got time to make bridger weights and all stuff like that. Why did the WBC not mandate either Golovkin or Charlo to get the opportunity? And as I tell you on my channel, people get mad at what I say, but it keeps coming true. Ego Stradamus strikes again. It continues to reign supreme, and these prophecies and predictions that I make on my channel continue to show themselves. You know, so it is questionable that Canelo man fans are willing to see a guy at welterweight who was in a car wreck move up, which would be a big fight. You know, if they can make the fight, then it is what it is. Errol Spence, he has requested it, but I'm talking about my personal opinion. It's weird that if a welterweight, like let's say Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence, if his name gets mentioned with Canelo, then you see so many people who everyone just agrees it's a good fight and there's no resistance. But then Canelo, when there's guys his size that are also good fights, I think Charlo more so than the Andrade. I like the Andrade fight too, but based on the branding, I think Jermall Charlo would be a huge fight, right? And you don't see this type of agreeance and unison when it comes to Canelo fighting certain guys. When it comes to guys like Andrade or an even bigger fight, like okay, if Errol Spence will sell, which it would with Canelo, why would Charlo not sell? And he's from Houston. You could put that fight at Minute Maid, you know, where he fought Kirkland, where Canelo fought Kirkland, things like that. So this is still a great fight and a big fight. And it's like boxing continually tries to, he's coming off the Derevyanchenko performance. Canelo himself said that Derevyanchenko really beat Golovkin. So we know he should have been in a unification and he should have been a champion. And you have a guy like Andrade and guys like Charlo who are great fights, and boxing refuses to get it right. And it's just funny that, look, there's 50 cents in his camp, in his last camp, checking on him and something special, man. You not rocking with your man 50 Cent, man. Yeah, I just came to check on Charlo, Lions only, nigga. You got to do something, baby. Irv, make it hot, you know? So he got celebrity friends, and Drake sent him a care package, stuff like that. It's a big fight, trust me. But Canelo is open to fighting a smaller guy moving up, you know? And again, I understand he's fighting a big, giant Callum Smith, but styles make fights. Callum Smith is a British fighter. He's never fought somebody that we seen come off a performance like Derevyanchenko really beating Triple G in a title fight and a tough fight with Jacobs. So ultimately, I understand he won the World Boxing Super Series, but his style plays well with Canelo's style. Canelo probably win via body shot. You know what I mean? I think Canelo, the style that will rival his is more of an American style. Somebody who has athleticism, hand speed, you know, foot speed, ring IQ. Guys like Jermall Charlo, guys like David Benavidez, more so than some of the European fighters that he's fought, you know? And it is what it is. But it's hilarious that every time Jermall Charlo's name is mentioned, there's a bunch of reasons from fans why he shouldn't get the fight. But now that Canelo is saying he wants to fight a welterweight, everybody's all for it, you know? But some of those same fans, when Floyd Mayweather fought against Juan Manuel Marquez, who was clearly the best lightweight after beating Juan Baby Bull Diaz convincingly by stoppage in the first fight, and Juan Manuel Marquez, one of my favorite fighters, called out Mayweather as the consensus best lightweight, you know, and Floyd was on a 2-year layoff, 21 months, so pretty much 2-year layoff. And they said, oh, Marquez is so much smaller and Floyd missed weight. But some of the same fans are okay with Canelo fighting Errol Spence, or if you mention like a Terrence Crawford, they'll be all for those fights. But then Jermall Charlo, who's a big sturdy 160, right? That's not a good enough fight, you know? And Demetrius Andrade. He said he don't like Demetrius Andrade's style. You see what I'm saying? You see the games? What type of games being played? How's it going down? Stars to the stars, and I gots to know now. Canelo's a terrific fighter, but the moves are very telegraphed. Not his moves in the ring, but his moves outside of the ring. You know, downplays certain guys, and I don't like Willie Monroe's style way back when. And I'm not saying Willie Monroe would even beat him, but it's just, you could tell there's certain styles that aren't on the menu, you know, and they're not the first ones. You'll fight a welterweight coming up, but you can't make 160 for Charlo. You can't make 160 for Demetrius Andrade, who called you a B word years ago. And you and Charlo and you and Andrade have all been in multiple divisions together. You were both at 154 at the same time. You and Charlo, you and Jermell. So you could have fought either Charlo at 54, right? You and Andrade, y'all are all at the same divisions at the same time. And here's a ego fun fact. The Charlo brothers are about 2 or 3 months older than Canelo. They were born in the same year, and they were born about a couple months apart. You get what I'm saying? So this is Canelo's contemporary, but he could fight Kovalev pushing 40, Mosley 40, Baldomir when he's 41, smaller guys like Josecito Lopez back then at 54, right? Errol Spence, he's down with that. He can make 154 for, you know, or 55, or he made 154 for Liam Smith, but he made 155 and made a welterweight Amir Khan move up to 55. I mean, these moves, you could just see what it is. You can fight Errol Spence per your own words. You know, this is what Canelo just said. Per your own words, you said you can make 160 for Errol Spence, but you can't make it for Charlo. You can't make it for Demetrius Andrade. Boom. You guys see it. Says Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin won't fight Demetrius Andrade because he's so good, DAZN analyst says. And this is an article from the first month of this year, January 29th, 2020. And it's hilarious because, I mean, it's sad for Andrade. Definitely sad because he's aligned with the same people as Canelo and Triple G were. Canelo kind of broke free, but he's going back to the app. And he's never in consideration. They said if something happened with Callum Smith or Canelo, then John Ryder is the sub-in, not Demetrius Andrade. So it's just really sad, and you oftentimes see it with African-American fighters. You know, people quick to say who is Andrade fought, who is Jermall Charlo fought, but you see why some of these fights aren't being made. You can't make 160 for guys your size or bigger that are at that weight class, but you can make it for a welterweight, Errol Spence. I mean, let me know how you guys feel about that. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Use my link, ESPN Plus. I promise we closing the year strong. We working. We'll see. First, Canelo got to get past Callum Smith. See how that fight is. You know, the guy's definitely big, but stylistically, Canelo should get past Callum Smith. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego. Signing off.
And then at the end of the fight, man, we saw these tears coming from your eyes, man. What did those tears mean to you after that fight?
It was like a tear of joy, you know. It felt good when you really did it, you know, when you really work hard for something. And that's something I did tonight. I worked hard all camp, you know, to make the adjustments that I made. It was, you know, it was an amazing fight, you know, entertaining fight. Some of the fans can love something. They can always come back to Houston and say, Jermall Charlo, he fought hard, you know, and that's what I did tonight.
Right here in front center, Valencia King with Real Talk Sports. You mentioned your team and thanking them. Talk to me about how they've been able to lift you up throughout the journey of getting to this win tonight.
My team, you know, we prayed together, we stayed together, we stayed strong.
Yes, sir.
You've seen all the controversies, stuff going on with, you know, the WBC and things changing, and you know, you just never let nothing distract you. You keep going. Of course, I wanted to knock him out. You know, that's what I do. That's what we all, you know, train hard for. But I didn't get the knockout, but it was an entertaining fight. My brother gave me an A, and I'm cool with that. You know, it's how it was. Yeah, thank you, baby. Thank you. What?
Hey, Ma, you had a great performance today. So what do you have to do to get the Canelo Triple G fight? Because it seemed like he ducked you, they just franchise tagged him. So I feel like, what do you got to do to get this fight? fight, man. You've been asking for the fight for a long time. You've been beating these guys that's in front of you. Canelo say he want to fight the best fighters. Triple G said they want to fight the best fighters. But it seems like they don't want to work with Charlo. What you got to do to get this fight, man?
Man, that's the great question, you know. You know, in order for me to get this fight with Canelo, I'm gonna need all my fans, all the lines on the team to vouch for me. You know, we all gotta just put in that word and, you know, keep putting in work. Canelo gotta fight me sooner or later. He cannot retire without fighting me. You know, I'm one of the best out there. 29-0, 21 knockouts. You know, he gotta fight me sooner or later. In order to fight Canelo, I probably gotta go to Dallas. What's up, man?
Errol Spence, new media member, ladies and gentlemen, as well. So,
My brother.
I love you, Daddy.
Jamal, is it safe to say that this guy was the most elusive guy you've ever faced, and was he the hardest chin you've ever hit?
Hell no. He wasn't elusive. He wasn't explosive. He moved a lot. He ran a lot. He took a lot of punishment. I mean, he won a contender. He was a contender champion. He had, he trained hard to fight me. You know what? Wasn't nothing but I made the adjustments. I ain't stopping something y'all used to seeing. But styles make matchups. You stick and move. That's the part of boxing. I want to fight. No excuses, man. No excuses. We only train hard. We only get better from here.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more sports. Get unlimited access to premium content with an ESPN Plus subscription. ESPN Plus offers a variety of content, including specials, behind the scenes, docuseries like Bruce Lee's Be Water, and much more. With an ESPN Plus subscription, you get access to a ton of classic archive fights and replays from boxing and the UFC. Big names like, "Hi, I'm Mike Tyson. Come and watch my fight." Floyd Mayweather, "Easy work. I'm rich." And Manny Pacquiao, "Yes, it's up to my promoter. Just to name a few. If that's not enough, you could get the ESPN bundle, which includes ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. All three apps, one low price. You don't want to miss out. Make sure you guys click that link in the description box of all of my videos. Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.